The playbook was written in ink, or so they said. But the field changed the moment that we moved ahead. Circumstances shift, the shadows start to grow. In the script we memorize, it's time to let it go. I see the blitz coming, I see the pressure mount. But it's not how you start, it's the finish that will count. I'm the quarterback standing in the eye of the storm. Shattering the silence, breaking every norm. Call the audible, change the line. We're stepping out of formation and into the design. From the wreckage of the plans we made, we found a light that will never fade. When the world goes dark and the silence lies, look to your brother, look in his eyes. We are the storm that clears the skies. Say it with your chest, together we rise. Together we rise, together we rise. Yeah, yeah. Together we rise. Yeah. Welcome to the sanctuary, the unscripted truth, where we peel back the layers and we rebuild the roof. No plutonium files needed to crack the code. Just honest conversation on this heavy road. Zero topics off the table, let the record show. This is the realest frequency that you will ever know. I'm scared too, yeah, I'll admit the fear, but courage only matters when the danger is near. So tune in, lock in, let the hours pass. We're building something solid that is built to last. It's 6 p.m. The sun is going down, but we are the kings of this unspoken town. They want us divided, they want us apart, but they underestimated the strength of this heart. We don't need a teleprompter to tell us who to be. We just need this moment.
What is up, everybody? How you doing? It's your boy, the Birdman from the Birdman Show. Woo! I got Miss D with me. We're still waiting to see if Bambi's going to be joining us tonight, as well as if Mace Valor's going to be joining us. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll see. We'll not have Def Light with us tonight, so we're just going to rock and roll and do what we always do. Because, like I said, show must go on. But like I said, I'm your boy, the Birdman. That's Miss D. We're here on the Birdman Show recap edition. You guys already know what to do, so why don't you go ahead and just do it with us. That is right. So yeah, we're on another recap, another week down. Oh my God, another week down. We're still here, still kicking it. Miss D, how the heck are you doing?
I'm hanging in. We're getting ready to get nailed with another storm on the overnight. And I have autoimmune disorders, so I have fibromyalgia and migrainers. And when we have pressure changes in the atmosphere, it affects me. So I've been laying low today.
I feel you on that. I definitely feel you on that. We're supposed to be having some heavy rain coming in. I think tomorrow, I think it's supposed to be off and on for the next week or so or whatnot. I don't know. But this weather has just been crazy all around. I mean, starting from last year, but I mean, the winter has been crazy for us down here. We didn't really have much of a winter, which is hell for me because my allergies need that break, and I didn't get that break this winter. So still fighting with that crap. But it is what the freak it is, and that's all it is. But yeah, I mean, you can say what you want to say, do what you want to do. It is what it is. It's just whatever. That's how I feel. That's just how I feel. But yeah, but we have a recap to do. We had a very interesting week.
Yes.
Very interesting. Well, before we get there, I definitely want to acknowledge everything we got going on here. We're live on Rumble, we're live on Kick, we're live on YouTube. Hold up, I have a little issue over here. Every once in a while, Rumble, I have to refresh the screen. Like it doesn't mess with the live. Like the live goes fine, but I don't have another account right now to where I can actually view it on a different account. I'm actually doing it on my account that's live. So it sometimes does that to me. But yeah, we're
It
live on
seems to
these.
be working fine on my end, so because
Okay.
I
Yeah.
monitored the chats.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I know on my end because of the fact I'm probably watching it on the same profile it's live on, it'll sometimes force me to do that over here. But
Mhm,
loving it. Loving everything we're doing here. Like I said, we're live on Kick, which is a new platform for us.
mhm.
And so it's going pretty good. Now you said you just got on Kick, right?
I did. I'm having trouble signing into it on my laptop. I can sign into it on my phone, but the issue with that is I use my phone to stream. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'll say this, I had a similar issue with it. When I went to go log in, I had an issue um, with the I think mine might have been opposite. I was logging in fine with my laptop because I got it on my MacBook, but then when I went to go log in on my phone, it was giving me an issue. But then I think I refreshed something or did something. I can't remember what it was, but then I went to go log in and now I can log in on both at the same time. So I
Mhm,
don't know what the deal was. I have no idea, but it started working. So I mean, it is what it is. Tabs, what is up? What is up, sis? How you doing? Tabs in the house, watching us over here on YouTube. Hopefully you're doing good, sis. We gotta talk about getting you in on another episode. It's been a while. You're slacking there, Tabs. Um, yeah, I'm not happy about that, Tabs. You need to step your game up. I'm just kidding. I love you. But no, yeah, we definitely need to get you back in. Had fun on the episode that she was able to join us on. So we'd love to get you back in. Um, yeah. So that being said, yeah, we had some episodes.
mhm,
We definitely had some freaking episodes that we had going on there this week. So we had a conspiracy files episode where we talked about um cartoon conspiracies.
mhm.
Was just everything, just in general, everything weird with cartoons. Um, and then last night we talked about Lanier,
Yeah.
uh, the dark secrets of Lake Lanier.
Mhm.
Um, before we get to those, first of all, real quick question: what was your overall feel for this week's episodes?
Um, I think that it went very well. Very engaging on both episodes. I mean, we've all been subject to cartoons. And as we've gotten older, we've seen things a little differently. So being able to make those comparisons from when we were younger to older and seeing things. Plus, I even sent you a couple today that we
Mm,
hadn't touched on. Um, I think, like I said, very engaging. And then the Lake Lanier. I don't know if it's because I had previous knowledge of it. Um, but again, very engaging and learning the new facts of it as well that I didn't know. Um, but I thought it was pretty cool. I think it went very well.
I 100% agree with you. Learning, like I said, Lake Lanier was not one that was ever on my radar. Like I didn't really know much about that at all.
Mm,
So learning about that was really cool. Like I said, even the research I did, it didn't even come close to touching the research that you and Defli had done. Plus, both of you had previous knowledge of the lake itself, so that
mm,
also helped in general. So I really didn't know what I was looking for.
mm,
So it was fun learning about all the stuff that went on with that one, and then, of course, cartoon conspiracies. We've touched on those types of
mm,
subjects with the cartoon conspiracies in the past. But we
mm,
didn't really go into depth like what we did Monday.
mm,
So it was good going into those things. Now something like some things like we've like pretty much covered the crap out of the Simpsons and their
mm,
predictions and stuff like that. But
mm,
still being able to talk about that kind of stuff and then finding out some newer ones
mm,
that definitely were not on my radar, or
mm,
the view in which some people were trying to take it, the extent that they're trying to take it. Some of the stuff is just ridiculous.
mm,
But it still was fun talking about those types of things. So yeah, I
mm.
agree with you 100%. So talking about Monday, what was one of the ones that you were like, I know there's a couple, But what were the ones? One of the ones you're like, wait, are you freaking serious? And what the conspiracy theory was on it.
So, a lot of the ones that Bambi brought up, being my daughter, uh, she grew up kind of questioning those things. So I wasn't surprised by any of those, especially knowing how big she is into the Disney franchise. Um, I cartoons in and of themselves, I've always had one of those it's not as deep as you think moments. And I know I stated that on Monday, that sometimes they're just cartoons, they're just for entertainment. Um, Sometimes there's something more sinister going on, but to be able to tell the difference is, I really think people are making mountains out of molehills with a lot of them, um, in my honest opinion. As far as the conspiracies, I mean, we're going to come up with a conspiracy for everything. Anything that you can think of that we can have a discussion on, there's a conspiracy about it, for it, because of it. So, um, all I can say, I'm not surprised by any conspiracy I hear anymore.
No, I mean, and um it's what's crazy about it. Like it is fun. 100% is fun. I'm not gonna say I'm not taking anything away from that. It is 100% fun, but at the same
Mhm,
time, at times it can be frustrating
mhm,
because you're like, sorry, it's freaking wallet in my pocket. Um, it can be frustrating because you're like, who really thinks like that?
mhm,
Um, and like I said, yeah, it could be frustrating, but at the same time, I still respect it because the simple fact is, I my mind doesn't work like that at times, but then at the same time, somebody's mind doesn't work like mine at the same time. So it's one of those things you you sometimes have to take a step back, like, oh, wait a minute, and then listen
mhm.
and hear it out,
Right.
and then kind of respond to it after that. But yeah, it's crazy because like I said, I think I said it Monday was like, remember, your kids watching the cartoons, they're not gonna pick up on that stuff. They're
Mhm,
not really gonna see that. And I don't know why some of these parents nowadays are so up in arms about cartoons
mhm,
and the things going on because if you ask them, okay, what about the cartoons you watched? And then you bring up some of the stuff that was in those cartoons, they're like, well,
mhm.
that's not, and they're like, no, that's exactly what that meant. That's
Right.
exactly what they were doing in that cartoon.
Mhm,
So let's just stop the cap on that.
mhm,
When it comes to that stuff, the cartoons, like I said, if you want to be that parent and monitor those cartoons, which I think you should. I'm not saying
mhm,
you shouldn't. I'm not saying you should let your child watch anything and everything. No, you should be aware, 100% aware of what your
mhm,
child is watching, and learn. Make sure you stay up to date with some of the stuff that's being used in these cartoons, the slang, the how they're
mhm.
phrasing things, how they're presenting things. You should be 100% aware of that kind of stuff.
Right.
Um, Now you had mentioned you had found or looked at some other ones that we didn't get a chance to talk about. What were some of the ones that you had found?
The Bambi one, um, where it's saying that after the hunters shot mom, that
Hmm.
the way that the trajectory of the bullet went, it would have actually gone through Bambi as well, and that almost um, ethereal sequence after is that 7 minutes of consciousness that your brain is still alive, um, and starting to shut down during death, and that's why they say that after that sequence, you never see Bambi blink again because death just does that stare. There's no blinking.
Hmm.
Um, they're saying that the images of Bambi's father as a buck, um, was actually the Grim Reaper. Like I said, sometimes I think people look too deep into it, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
That one is hard for me to argue against.
Mm, mm,
It really it's and I'm gonna say argue against.
mm,
Um, I say it makes it easier for me to accept that one when you actually look at it in that light and that fact.
Mhm.
And especially the way that it was explained,
Mhm.
it's hard not to think. And when and the whole movie is explained that way,
Mhm.
and you kind of look at it and you're sitting there like, oh wow, that does actually make more
Mhm.
sense. That or man, you know what, that actually is very plausible.
Yeah.
um because listen, there's that's to me is probably one of the lighter notes
Mhm.
when it comes to a Disney movie, when you try to explain stuff, because like I say, like I didn't even get into the whole Pocahontas thing.
No.
um
Did I send you the one about Cinderella?
I think it was Cinderella.
About how
Cinderella,
the evil
Cinderella.
stepmother wasn't actually evil?
Did you send out conspiracy theories?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not seeing one on Cinderella.
Mm. Yeah, I was watching another one. I didn't want to like spam the folder, so
Oh, that I don't care. Like when it comes to that one, that's what that's there for.
okay.
That's what that one's there for. It's like if you come up on something,
Mhm.
put it in the freaking folder. Put it in the folder. That's what I'm
Okay.
doing. That's what I do. But yeah, like the one I seen about Pocahontas
Mhm.
is that, when you look at what Disney did, um compared to the true story,
Mhm.
it's just downright disgusting.
Mm.
Now, if you really look at what Disney did, Disney had prior knowledge to what the true story was after the writer came back and said, "Hey, wait a minute, I researched this story.
Mhm.
This is not this is not what the true story is." And
Mhm.
they said, "Oh, look, we've already put enough money into this. We're going along with it." Um, I'm not, I don't want to get too much into that one. Maybe we'll
Mhm.
do a episode on dark history or true stories.
Mhm.
When it comes to some of the animated versions of, or even just movies in general,
Right.
true stories or true origins. Maybe
Versus.
we can do something like that. But yeah, it's the story is so dark, and the thing is, this is what's crazy about, especially if we're just talking about Pocahontas, and Pocahontas is just one of the crazier stories.
Mhm.
But the crazy thing about it, the more you dig into it, the worse the
Mhm.
story gets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like that for a lot of like any of your fairy tales. Fairy tales themselves were never designed to be the light and airy, you know, entertainment. They were ghost stories. It was some of them were bloody and gory and just downright, um, not for children.
Yeah.
And then Disney took these stories, like most of your Brothers Grimm's fairy tales definitely were not gentle and you know princesses feeding birds out of their hands. um they but yeah, Disney turned it around and made them family friendly, children friendly. um which I mean I can also understand that too, but um
I can't.
no.
No. The reason why I say I can't is because why would you take such a horrible story and make it into a children's story?
Mm,
So like I get where I 100% get what you're saying. I definitely understand that. But now when I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, yo, because like I said, when I looked at that Pocahontas story, and the more I started looking at that one, and then I saw the video. I thought I sent it to you, but maybe I didn't. Um,
mm,
but I'll find out which one it was and I'll send it to you. But when he started talking about that part of it, and actually how horrible that story actually is
mhm,
for that poor girl,
mhm.
I'm like, why would you want to make a fairy tale movie out of that?
Well, that see Pocahontas, so that's not what I'm talking about with fairy tales. Pocahontas, that was a true story that they basically cut down um the real story for entertainment value. Same thing with Anastasia, same thing with Mulan. These were historical events that happened, um and they didn't show the deep dark side. They made it into children's movies, which those should have never been made. But I'm talking like the Cinderella, I'm talking about Snow White, those
Yeah,
ones that those were designed as ghost stories. They were not built on historical events.
Yeah, but and this is another reason why I wish Carrie was on here tonight. Is because we had talked about some of these stories, especially like Snow White and stuff like that, and where the origins were from that. But like I say, like, and I get what you're saying, like, as far as the fairy tales and stuff like that. But even with that, like I said, like with Pocahontas, I just don't understand why. Because in the movie Pocahontas, they made her out to be a lot older than what she was. She was 11 when all this started. She was 11. She died at 21. So all this crap that happened to her was in a 10-year span.
But could you imagine Disney putting out, saying that she was 11 and marrying a forced marriage to,
But why put the story
John?
out to begin with?
True.
That's what I'm saying. It's like that's where I'm getting at. It's like, why would that be there? There's so many other stories you probably could have came up with, but the fact that you took a historically true story, and you turn around and made it a some type of fantastical production when it came to this, but you're honestly saying, hey, listen, we're going to promote pedophiles. Is what we're going to do with this story. We're going to change it a little bit. We're going to lie and tell you that it was this when it was really that. And that's where I have a problem. And that's where, like I said, I'm not going to say I boycott Disney. I'm not going to say that, but I never really watched a lot of Disney movies. And that was even before I knew any of the stuff was going on. I really don't watch them now. Because the simple fact is, now I don't trust anything that goes on anymore. I don't trust anything of the government. I don't trust anything when it comes to Hollywood. I definitely don't trust anything when it comes out from Disney. Only thing I barely trust when it comes from Disney is Star Wars. That's because I know 100% that is straight up made up BS. But I love it. Okay, I love it. I just love the lore behind it, all that stuff. Plus, there's more stuff about it online, YouTube, and all stuff like that when it comes from the fan standpoint and fiction about it and all this stuff. I love that stuff about it. It's great, wonderful. But when you talk about taking a real life story and you change it in such a way that it doesn't even remotely resemble what actually happened in real life, like what was the who was the antagonist in Pocahontas, the Indian that was in her tribe, that was supposed to be causing all the problems.
So I'm gonna, full transparency, I've never watched it.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, no problem.
I know bits and pieces.
Okay.
And I know the real story behind it, but I actually never watched it.
Yeah, I've watched it. I watched it I watched it a long time ago. I watched it a few times since then. And for the most part, the Disney movie is actually pretty good. But then when you actually start looking at the real story, and then you start questioning, okay, wait a minute. And for me, it's not for anybody else, just for me, 100%. I'm questioning, why would you even think about turning that into a Disney movie? There was nothing good that came from that story whatsoever. Not a single thing. Why would you take that and then possibly put more people to go through the same crap? I mean, I'm not saying, like, I don't know if there's anybody that's still alive that's within her bloodline or anything. Like, I don't know, whether if the people who were in that tribe, I'm assuming they still exist and they're still out there. I don't know if they know the truth. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, you're taking a story like that and you're making it some type of fantasy, right? Once again, we've already said this before. One thing that Hollywood, Disney, and all of them were really good about doing is hiding things in plain sight. And so that's where that's where my mind then starts to go to, is like, okay, what else are you trying to say? And what else are you trying to put into this? What are you implying when it comes to this? That you can take something that's so horrible, put a little spin on it, put the Disney stamp on it, and now all of a sudden it's Disney magic, which is a real thing. That's a real thing. I'm telling you right now, Disney magic is a real thing, because all their stories, what I'm saying, are just Disney magic. I love the movie, and it was a settler who. Okay. Thank you for that. Who is that? Is that somebody you know?
That's my daughter.
Is that Faith?
Felt the same as my daughter.
Yeah.
Hey, Max, was that you? Okay. Yeah,
Okay. Awesome. Oh, hello. How you doing?
they're
I'm your
making
black uncle.
cookies.
Okay, I'm your black uncle. Anyways, I do too. I love the movie as well.
Mhm.
And in the movie, it was there was another guy. I can't remember what his name was though.
Coco.
Anyways, ho,
The Indian was Coco. Coco.
it might have been. It's
Right.
been so long since I've seen it.
And then it was
The sailor was
Radcliffe. Yeah, Radcliffe.
it
John
Radcliffe?
Radcliffe. Yep.
John Radcliffe. Okay, so that one, the Indian that was the Indian that was in that movie, or the person was in that movie, they were trying to say that was causing issues. Come to find out, when you actually look at the story, that was actually the person that she was actually in love with,
Mhm.
and it changed the story to make him out to be one of the bad guys when he
Mhm.
wasn't. He was trying to save her.
Right.
And so that's like I said, that when I think about that, the reason why it throws me off so much is because I have to start, and we've been down this road. We've already been down this road. You've already came over to the dark side. Okay. I'm not talking about the dark meat. I'm just talking about the dark side of how you look at things. But you've already come over to the dark side. You're like, I have to question everything now.
Right.
And that's how I am now. It's like, now I'm looking at like, dude, seriously. And we look at some of the other stories that we talked about or haven't talked about,
Mhm.
and you find out like, okay, wait a minute, how they did this, it doesn't match up to what actually happened. And I get, when you're trying to tell a story, sometimes you need to change the story
Mhm.
in order for it to be something you can actually tell. But I don't think that's the place for Disney.
Right.
Disney's supposed to be for kids, and some adults, who love it. And I'm not knocking anybody that does. But
Mhm.
when you're talking about animation, especially in the way they do it,
Mhm.
those type of stories have no place. That type of storytelling has no place for children. And I
Right.
believe somebody brought up Peter Pan. Was that Tabitha? Yeah, Tabitha talked about Peter
Mhm.
Pan is another one that goes dark
Mhm.
when you hear the conspiracy to it. But here's another thing. I don't know if you realize this, Tabs. Peter Pan is also, in the storytelling of it, is mentioned within Epstein.
All roads lead back to Epstein.
Jesus, I hate
I
I hate
I I
saying that.
have
I hate.
I have said it since I started in on the octopus murders. So 100% I blame you. Um, but yes, I am a true believer that all roads lead back to Epstein. And when you're looking at things like Disney, I'm going to pull my inner Mace Valor out.
Do it.
Disney is the devil.
Yes.
Disney
Yes.
devil.
Yes.
Um, it is a huge monopoly. It owns so much of the media that we are taking in. And where are most people garnering their research and facts? Through different types of media. How much of it is owned by Disney and its subsidiaries? Everything leads into one another.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. That's what I say. Like, and I love y'all. I love y'all. I love every single one of y'all out there. Definitely love people who are some of our bigger supporters. You guys are phenomenal. This is not for you, because I think enough of you have watched us enough to know that where we're coming from and our stance on a lot of this stuff. So this is not for you. For everybody else who may stumble upon this podcast, please do me one favor and start waking up. Stop taking whatever you see on TV, except for if you watch us. Stop taking.
We'll tell you the truth,
Yeah, we'll tell you the truth. We'll tell you the truth.
whether you want to hear it or not.
Yeah, we'll tell you the truth. Anyways, not playing. We will, but
So we'll tell you our truth.
yeah, the
And
thing
we
is,
can give you that.
thing is research, please.
Mhm.
It's everything is out there for public consumption. You know what I'm saying? Now there might be some things, now that they're doing this stuff with AI, that there might be some things that they're trying to slowly make disappear from the internet, but please at least go out and find that information for yourself. It's out there. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is a TV show that since we started doing this, since we started doing, especially started hitting on Conspiracy Files, and now that we're going full blown into it, there's a show that I used to watch religiously, and I love the show. I still watch it whenever I can. I need to I have the box sets for it. I need to re-get them because I need to start watching them again. X-Files.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen the X-Files in so long.
Right though, but when you start looking and thinking about the X-Files, and you watched it, when you start thinking about the X-Files, all the stuff that was going on in there, you know what I'm saying? And then Scully with the truth is out there. And Fox, the truth is out. When you start really looking at life through the lens of the X-Files, so much more makes more sense. Yes, I know it was a TV show and it was all out there and it was crazy stuff, but what they dealt with throughout that entire series, even into the movies that they did, everything they dealt with makes so much more sense as to what is going on now.
Now, if you like the X-Files but you like to put a comedy spin on things, are you familiar with the show Warehouse 13?
No, I've heard of it, but I've never watched it.
Watch it.
Warehouse 13.
It's got that sci-fi flavor with the comedy to it as well. But every once in a while it'll catch you off guard and you'll be like, whoa, wait a minute. And things make sense. I've actually watched the series through and I started kind of watching it again. More as background noise, but every once in a while it will take you off guard.
So I was just making a note of that. Warehouse 13. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. I like watching a lot of that stuff. And I've stated this before with the way that as crazy this world is, especially now. And I'm gonna get this out of the way now because I'm wearing my PTSD hat, my veteran PTSD hat. I'm gonna get this out of the way now so I don't have to revisit this for hopefully a while. What's going on right now in the world? What's going on right now in America is very dangerous. We have leadership in place that is really making things dangerous, not just for America, but also for the rest of the world. As a veteran, who served four tours, I don't take it lightly when we talk about going to war and that there's going to be lives lost. I don't take that lightly. I don't appreciate who's supposed to be the leader of the country saying, hey, there's going to be many more lives lost, but that's just the price. No, I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate anything that's going on with this leadership in this country when it talks about sending people over to war when you've never served, when you've never been over, when your children have never been over. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we've already lost, I think it's now roughly 13 now. I think we're at. I know it was at least six in the first couple of days, I think, of what happened. I don't take that lightly. I've lost friends. I've lost men and women who I consider to be top-notch people in senseless wars. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I served, and I would serve again. You know, if called upon in the right circumstances. I'm not gonna say I'm not doing it right now. I'll tell you that much. But in the right circumstances, I would serve again. No doubt about it. But I don't think that this is stupid. I think what is going on is just careless. There is absolutely no reason for any of this to be going on right now. But once again, I'm just a crazy old vet who knows nothing. And obviously to my country, for the most part, when it comes to the people that should be taking care of us, mean anything as well. So like I said, it's irritating to see this going on. It's scary because to think, for people here in America, to think that if you think that we're going to be able to continue to do this kind of stuff to where we just go bomb somebody or send troops over and they're not going to retaliate at some point in time here in America, you're sadly mistaken. That's why I say this is scary, because we have this. We tend in this country tend to have this unbelievably dumb mindset that no one's crazy enough to come to start anything over here in America. Then
They
some people say,
said
"Well,
that
what about
during.
9/11?" Yeah,
They
some
said
people might
that,
say, "What happened on 9/11?" But was that really somebody over there, or was that an inside job? Not saying anything. Anyways, go ahead, Miss D.
but they said that the same thing about Pearl Harbor. Um, Now, being somebody who wanted to join the military but couldn't, is married to a 20-year veteran. I do have a slightly different take on it. And I do understand where you're coming from. Um, but I also take the stance that, we don't have a draft at this
Mhm.
point. That the people who are serving have signed on their own free will
Mhm.
to serve, and meaning that if we are called to war, regardless if we agree with it or not,
Oh yeah.
um, that they volunteered their service for that. Um, so as much as I don't want to see American lives lost to any kind of war, um, I can also understand that this, unfortunately, that is a product of war. And if you've signed up for it, you understood the consequence that could potentially happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And it's, I guess, now I 100% agree with you. That I'm not saying nothing about that. It's just when I look at it, especially when I sign, I also sign with the anticipation that the people in charge were not going to put me in unnecessary situations.
Mhm.
You always have that reasonable expectation
Mhm.
when it comes to that. Also, it's one of those things where now you have to also really worry because what you just said, the people who are in right now, they signed voluntarily.
Mhm.
There's only what 1% of Americans that actually do that.
Mhm.
So if you start killing off the people who actually do it voluntarily, you're not going to have anybody else left. You're going to have to go back to a draft, and now you're going to go right back to what was going on before, where you have the people that were draft dodging, or you get a bunch of people in there that really didn't want to be in there, but they don't really have they don't have any other choice, and now you're definitely killing off your population. Like I love it the way it is now. Why? Because the people that want to be in there are in there. The
Mhm.
people that want the people that are in there, they're there because they want to be, and they're doing their best. They're trying, they're working hard, they're doing it. I've seen when you have somebody come in who really didn't want to be there, or they just didn't have any other option. We've had people that went in because they were trying to avoid jail time. People went in because they're like, oh man, I literally I had at least 4 soldiers that I had to deal with. That the only reason why they joined is because they had needed to join because they needed something so that way they can pay child support.
Mhm.
Like they didn't want to serve. Like they didn't want to be there, but it's the best option they could to make enough money to where they can pay child. And that's another thing that bothers me. That they had to choose a job where they can most definitely die in
Mhm.
just to be able to pay child support. An uncapped child support.
Mhm.
Like that all the issues that we have in this country, but yet we're still fighting foreign wars, and we've never taken care of anything in our country is what bothers me when it comes to this stuff. I have no problem, serving. I have no problem going to war. I have no problem doing all that stuff if it's called upon. But we've never taken care of anything, not even the basic things that is needed in this country.
Mhm.
And that bothers me to no end. It's like I get I get all this stuff, and I get that, sometimes, we have to do things, but when it's not when you have people who are starving in this country, who are homeless, whether they're veterans, whether they're just, regular everyday people that circumstance in life happens to, and you get people, what I'm saying, whether, it's men or women, and unfortunately it's disproportionately men when it comes to the whole child support thing. When you get that and they're having to they're scraping by just to be able to live and having to pay all this stuff. And then you get these then bring it back full circle and you get these people to join the military because either they're just looking for escape or from this stuff. It's like, what are we doing?
I mean,
I don't want anybody joining the military who doesn't want to actually be there.
my biggest bitch with it is when our troops do come home.
Oh God.
That is, and I will forever fight this. I mean, even going back to Vietnam, where a lot of your troops had no choice, they were drafted to come home and not even be welcome home, to being called horrendous names and violence against our troops coming home. And we still see that kind of thing now. I mean, after 9/11, you started to, people acknowledge the heroic measures that a lot of our troops have dealt with. And we had, welcome home committees and whatnot. But at the same time, our any veteran who has ever served, especially who has served overseas, should never face homelessness ever. Or to have to choose between their family and a home, because how many, I mean, Jeff and I, we were homeless. One entire summer, we lived in a campground. We both worked, but bad choices, bad juju on a whole bunch of different levels, and we were homeless. We lived in a campground. We were told, in order to get some of the services that we could potentially benefit from, we would need to get divorced. It wasn't about keeping our nuclear family together.
Nope.
Because that why would you do that when you can get divorced and then I don't know. But our veterans that are coming home with severe PTSD, who are not getting the mental health care that they need. There are so many issues that I have with our returning troops not getting what they need.
Yeah, and to go along with that, I would say it's almost even worse. I think it might be neck and neck. I don't know if it's neck and neck or if it might be worse, even for those same troops who are getting out of the military. So when I say that, when I say ETS, when you're about to get out of the military, they really don't do that much to really make sure that the veterans are set up. I know that from my process I went through. Like,
and how many
after
of
I
you
got
have
out,
to fight for your care?
yeah, like after I got out, like it was like maybe 6 years after I got out when I found out by talking to somebody else that hey, did you do this? Do you do this, and this when you got out? And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? Come to find out, there was more benefits and more things I was due and owed that they never told me about.
Right.
So now I'm doing it now. Now I'm having to fight an uphill battle. You know what I'm saying? Now being almost 17 years later, and I'm still trying to fight this stuff. The fact that, and I'll speak 100% for me, when I got out of the military, I was 100% service connected. I mean, I got 100% benefits. And I went through a whole process getting out. It was like a 6-month process getting out. That I had to go through all this and document all my stuff. And it's like, yep, you're 100% connected, service connected. You're good to go. You know what I'm saying? Have a great one, sir. And then 5 years later, I didn't even get a letter or anything. I go, because I'm like, oh, I'm about to get paid. I'm going to go pay some bills, this and that. And I noticed that my check was almost $1,500 less. And I was like, excuse me? And so I'm looking at it like, what in the world's going on here? So then I called up there. I'm talking to somebody. They were like, oh yeah, I was like, well, are you, what's your percentage? I said 100%. And the lady was like, no, it's only 90%. I said, no, it's not. And I was like, I'm looking at my paperwork right now. It's 100%. Like, oh, you got dropped down 2 months ago or a month ago, something like that. I was like, excuse me? And she's like, well, I was like, so she was going through it. It's like, yeah, somebody reviewed your case or and they dropped you from 100 to 90. And I'm like, first of all, how do you review my case without even talking to me?
Right.
Second of all, how do you review my case? But it was a 6-month process for me to go through to get this, even though all my stuff was documented from day one of all my injuries and everything that's going on. How is it I go through a 6-month process, but it takes someone a week
Right.
without even discussing it with me or talking to any of my doctors to say, yeah, we're gonna drop him down to 90%. Like, how is that a process? How is that even possible?
Right.
That's one of those things, like I said, like I 100% agree with you, like that should never happen. And the reason why they tell you you'd be better off divorcing because there's no money in a nuclear family.
Right.
The money is in the divorce.
Mhm.
The money is in what they can, wherever state you are, and all states are the same when it comes to this. I'm sorry. Well, with the exception of a few that have changed some of their laws, they're trying to make things a little bit more, I'm gonna say not difficult, but give families, men and women, especially some of these women who take some, and I hate saying that, but there are some women out there to take advantage of the system. And they're trying to
100%.
discourage that. Yeah, they're trying to
Right.
discourage that. They're trying to say, hey, no, look, you better think before you try to just go ahead and get a divorce from your husband and take the kids and try to get all this money. Because if you do, guess what? Those same things you had before, they're gone.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So I do commend those states for that, because I think that's the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just incentivize this. And I hate getting off subject because we're already way off subject now, but that's why I see a lot with these movie stars and athletes is that these women will get married to these athletes. Tyreek Hill, Travis Hunter, who's the latest one that I could think of, who came out of Colorado, got married, got all the money got all the money, his rookie contract, all the stuff from the NFL, and then he got married to his girl, and they told him don't marry her. I think he was only married for maybe 2 months. She got divorced, and now she's like, he has to pay her. I think it's like some like $150,000 a month or something like that. I can't
Oh,
remember.
yeah, it's insane.
It's stupid. It's stupid what it is. And she doesn't do anything else for the rest of her life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, is when it comes to that. Veterans should not just veterans, people in general should not be having to deal with this. When you break down all this stuff that's going on, it's just unbelievably stupid with all the problems we have in this country, and they've never been dealt with. We've never done anything to change anything. We've never done anything to incentivize and say, hey, it's better to keep that nuclear family. It's better to have the mom and dad in the house, being there with the children, being supportive of the children, that the government is going to support you. Not necessarily the government supports you, but we have you back. You know what I'm saying? I don't need the government to support me. I just don't need the government to handicap me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even if I get a divorce, I don't want the state or the government to handicap me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm able to work and I'm able to do all this stuff, let me be able to work. Let me be able to take care of my kids. I don't have to pay for my ex's lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be able to pay for what needs to be paid for my child and keep it moving. Be able to spend time with my child, same amount of time, 50-50 custody. You know what I'm saying? When the child's with me, I pay 100%. When the child's with you, you pay 100%. That's how it should be.
Well, my thing has always been to, I agree with that. I mean, my first husband and I, when we split, we made about the same amount of money. So, we asked the judge for no child support. We were going to split things when it came up, 50-50, stuff like that. And that wasn't really a problem. I had to chase him a little bit here and there. But it wasn't really a big deal, for the most part. And I've seen whatever happened though to the thought process of, well, if you were still married and one of you were injured and disabled, would you go out and get a job to support your family? And if the answer is yes, then even if you're divorced, why aren't you going out and getting a job? Why are you relying on spousal support?
Right.
It's like, I'm sorry, but if your kids are in school, you can get a job working mother's hours.
Yeah.
Or on the weekends that, what would you have done? Like I said, if you guys were married and both of you are still working, what were you doing? You were paying for childcare, right?
Yeah. Well, in today's age,
continue working.
No, in today's age, that shouldn't even exist at all anyways. with all the amount of jobs you can work from home.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's people out there say, listen, if you have a cell phone, you have a job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at the very bare minimum, if you have a cell phone, you have a job. Because there's a lot of jobs you can work and do just from using a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? Let alone if you have a computer or a tablet, whatever, what do you have? And definitely if you have a desktop at the house, you can work from home. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to position myself to where, you know what I'm saying, I can work from home because that way I can do some things to where it's less stress on Des, and plus it's way less stress on me physically. You know what I'm saying? When I think about all this stuff going on, you know, I think about my two youngest children, you know, my son and my youngest daughter. And the lack of things I've been able to do for them because of what went on with my first marriage. And how I've been in the system and how I've been taken advantage of my finances through that and trying to fight that, but yet then still they're like, you know, there's not much we're gonna be able to do, or not gonna do. And I'm still having to fight that battle. But because of that, I've been so strapped financially that I haven't even been able to come close to what I feel like I should be able to do for my children at all. And you know, and that for a father, that sucks so bad because all you want to do is be able to provide for your children. You know, you start with wanting to provide for your family, but then if that breaks down, you definitely want to be able to provide for your children. You definitely want to do whatever you can to make sure they have, you know, a much better life than you had. But then knowing that you're getting kicked every single step of the way, you know what I'm saying, and pushed down and spat on when people don't even know the whole story. But just because you happen to be a man, just because you happen to be the father, automatically they assume, well, you're a deadbeat because you're not there for your child. There's certain things I can't be there for.
Into, you know, all of the surrounding information.
Yeah. And there's sometimes, and like I said, the thing that pisses me off the most is that the children, it sucks because they probably will never understand until they get to an age where they can actually fully see and that's one thing that some have to watch. Like once that child gets a little older and they fully see what the truth actually really is, then that's where a lot of problems are going to happen. You know, I can definitely say that could be something that's going on with my oldest because of that fact. And that's the thing, is like the nuclear family has been destroyed. And you said it, the nuclear family is being destroyed. It's being attacked because there's no money in there being a whole family. There's zero money in it. There's zero money in it. The money making is being able to break that family up, split that family up, you know, do whatever you have to do with the kids. State's making money, the lawyers are making money, the judges are making, well, they're not, in most cases, they're not even really judges, they're magistrates. And which is a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing that's coming up now, but we're not gonna get into that. We are way the freak off topic.
Why don't we take a commercial break, Tim, and then we'll come back and regroup.
We're definitely taking a commercial break because I gotta get back to one of these comments on here. We're gonna take I gotta find one now. We're gonna hit woo, yeah. Sorry, that went way south, way quick.
You know what though? I do want to put a little flag in this, and I would love to do this as let's talk about it.
Yeah, we can definitely do that because we're already gonna probably end up adding another one. So we can probably end up doing that. Because I think I made my decision and we talked about it last night. So I think I made my decision. I'll announce that when we come back. But yeah, we're gonna come back after we reset after this commercial. So Birdman, Miss D, we took flight on that one. Yeah, we definitely took flight on that one. Woo! Okay, we'll be right back right after this. This commercial break is brought to you by 143 Infinite Designs. At 143 Infinite Designs, they believe that fashion is a powerful way to celebrate love, creativity, and connection. It is their mission to bring people together through custom, stylish, and meaningful t-shirt designs that enable everyone to express their unique stories, passions, and personalities. At 143 Infinite Designs, they also aim to make every piece a reflection of kindness, unity, and infinite imaginations, spreading positivity one shirt at a time. So if you'd like more information, please reach out by calling 620-454-6588
or by email 143infinitedesigns@gmail.com.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's your boy, the Birdman, the ghetto lawyer, as well as the ghetto lawyer, ghetto activist here, as well as the we're doing a Birdman show recap. I don't know what the heck we're recapping anymore. I've got so lost on this, but anyways, we're here. This is the Birdman show recap. You guys already know what to do. So why don't you go ahead and do it with us? That is right. Woo, Miss D. That was a very interesting first part of the segment. I mean, we went way past more of my normal commercial time. Itsy, what's up, sis? How you doing? I just seen you jump in. Love you. Hope you're having a great day. But yeah. So yeah, so that happened. How are you feeling so far with this first segment of everything?
I have my cookies.
So I got my cookies. I don't care about nothing else.
Raven and Jeff were making chocolate chip cookies. So after that, I needed a cookie.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I might need a drink after that one. I don't even smoke no more, but man, I might need to take one of them. Anyways, yeah, so we started off recapping Monday's episode of Cartoon Conspiracies. And we did. We were on it. And then freaking Pocahontas still screwing things up for everybody. But that's so yeah, we kind of anyways, I do want to talk about this comment from Faith. Nursery rhymes, that's another huge one. That is another huge one. When I think about the amount of nursery rhymes I heard as a kid and then getting older and finding out what the meaning of those nursery rhymes were, it scarred me more so than what I was already. That's another huge one. I don't know if we actually ever did an episode on nursery rhymes.
None that I can remember, but I kind of came into things around season 4. So
yeah, I don't think we actually did one on nursery rhymes. I might take that in consideration. Good one, Faith. Love it. By the way, I do apologize for that Mike Tyson joke. I completely forgot your name is Faith. So yeah,
that's right. We call her Faith. We call her Max. We call her Raven.
Okay. I'm gonna call you Raven because I can't do the Faith thing anymore after knowing that joke. So yeah, Raven knows. Everything Raven. Anyways, congrats, Itsy. Finally finished the chapter I was working on 5 years in her book. Wow. Got 2 chapters to go before my book is complete. Awesome.
Sometimes this block is hard to break through.
It is. That's why I've never broke through the title page. These are facts. No, what is she saying no for? What are you saying no for? I didn't even know she was in here.
I does.
She just popped in and said no. Like what? Right. No for what? Writer's block isn't fun. No, it's not. You made a cover. You made a cover for the book. Awesome. You'll definitely have to share it if you get a chance. Yes, definitely want to see. The heck are you talking about? Want to see?
Oh, on the nursery rhymes. No for the nursery rhyme. Oh, come on.
Oh, okay. Either no, we haven't done one, or no, you saying don't do one. Yeah, these little 1 and 2 word answers are just not. They're not. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you getting at? So I'm assuming you're saying no, we haven't done one. Is what I'm assuming. Of course, at the same time, she could probably say, "No, I don't want you doing the one on nursery rhymes because I
Okay, we
haven't
haven't
done
done
one."
one.
Okay, got it.
Right.
Okay, cool. So that's definitely one we take into consideration too.
Yeah, absolutely. Put it on the
So we'll
list.
have to make sure we're keeping note of that. So awesome. All right, cool. Yeah. So yeah. I told you maybe it's the hat. Maybe it's the hat. I mean, I need to change my hat. I got all my hats on the wall up here. I got a few back there. Well, I gotta change the hat because sometimes I wear one of the veteran hats. That veteran
Mhm.
just between the second and third rib, jabbing right between the second and third rib. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And twisting. Sometimes it's got to come out and say what it got to say. So I do apologize for that, but I'm not really sorry. It's just how it is.
Apologize for nothing.
I apologize that some people can't handle it. That's what I apologize
But
for. I'm sorry.
honey, that's why they call it an issue, not an ish me. All right. So don't
Yeah, you're
apologize for
right.
somebody
You're
else.
right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Baby's in
Hello,
the house.
Bambi.
How you doing, girl?
Mhm.
I mean,
You're
I'm assuming you
beautiful.
had something going on. This is why you're not in here. The next time you need to let your uncle know what's going on. Or maybe call a family meeting. Anyways, okay.
They'll all be here next
What else
weekend. So
about
you can
Monday's
call.
episode? Oh, there you go. There you go. So what else about Monday's episode? Did you want to hear? Because you said you had a couple of them.
The
Just got
Cinderella.
home from grocery shopping.
Of course, I had just taken a bite of my cookie. The Cinderella theory.
What?
What?
That was a
Chocolate
little
chip
weird. Just take
cookie.
a bite of your cookie.
Chocolate
Oh,
chip
okay.
cookie.
I was like, whoa, that lady's flexible. Anyways, go ahead.
I am too fat for that. Anyway, wrong platform.
Welcome to Birdman After Dark.
But no, the Cinderella theory. All right, so everybody knows Cinderella with the evil stepmom, right? What if stepmom wasn't really evil? And here's why. Back in the 18th century, especially in France, women could not own property, could not inherit property, could not work to pay bills. And so the woman lost her husband, which meant lost all income, couldn't sell the property because it wasn't hers to sell.
Yeah.
You know, and yes, she had two of her own daughters, Gisela and Anastasia, and then Cinderella being her stepdaughter. If she was really the villain and cruel, she would have either sold her, would have kicked her out, would have married her off. But back at that time, you needed all hands on deck to maintain the property, keep it clean, because for her, it was just another mouth to feed. So if she were truly an evil stepmother, she would have gotten rid of her. Because they were broke, they had no money.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a cool twist on it that I never really realized before, because I would have not put two and two together on that.
Yeah, well, I get. I can definitely see what you're saying, or it was coming from that perspective. But at the same time, if she would have got rid of her, then that meant she would have to force her own two daughters to do everything that Cinderella was doing.
It wouldn't have mattered though. She was still held captive in a dead man's house.
Right. Yeah, and I get what you're saying. But Cinderella was doing everything. She was doing the cleaning, all the other stuff, and the other two daughters weren't doing anything. They were absolutely doing nothing in that house. Cinderella was basically acting as the maid, the butler, the cleaning crew, grounds crew. I mean, I don't know if it's grounds crew, but 'cause I don't know if they still have to, but she was doing everything, all the manual labor for the house. So her name is actually Ella.
Cinderella.
Is her actually
They called her Cinderella because of all the soot on her dress from cleaning the fireplaces and whatnot.
Okay. That's new. I
But
didn't know that. Awesome. Thank you,
Mhm.
Bams. So that's cool. Didn't know that. But yeah. I mean, I definitely can get behind that theory. But then, like I said, then I have to ask, okay, so since you see the movie and you've seen the movie, and I've seen that movie quite a few times.
Mhm.
Cinderella was basically doing everything in the house.
Mhm.
The stepmother and the two stepsisters weren't doing they were doing absolutely nothing.
Mhm.
So they were made her do everything. So she was basically the maid, like I said, the maid, the butler, cleaning crew, all that stuff. So she was doing all that stuff. So if she wasn't in the house, and if that was held true as that meant the other two would have to step up.
But at the same time,
So
Cinderella were to have left and married rich like she did. Her
mhm,
daughters, her other two daughters, would not have seen any of that prosperity. So that's why she had stopped Cinderella
right.
from going to the ball, because for the chance of one of her other two daughters to marry the prince and marry into money, so they would no longer be destitute.
Right.
Oh, thanks. We have
Yeah.
extra
So I
cookie dough.
mean, like I said, it's yeah, I just saw that.
Mhm.
That's a very interesting one. That is a very interesting one.
Mhm.
Because of that fact. So yeah, because times were so different back then.
Yep.
Um, and I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think people today, men and women, I don't think they appreciate where they are now
Right.
compared to what the times used to be.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I hear a lot of feminists, they talk about different things. And I'll be honest with you, I don't like the term feminist.
Mm.
I think it's a dumb term. The reason why is because you know the definition of a feminist, right?
The actual definition, no, I can't rattle that
Yeah.
off. But I mean, I
Well, I
know the
mean,
concept.
the gist of okay. So,
Yeah.
so can you give layman's terms or terms for dummies what an actual feminist is? I much rather yeah.
So, the actual definition of a feminist is an
Hmm.
advocate of women's rights on the basis of the equality of the sexes, a person who supports feminism. So basically, advocating for women's rights, between equality between men and women.
Right. Now, I'm gonna tell you why I think that the term feminist is such a dumb term. Is because if you're a just human being, like
Mhm.
I consider myself to be, I
Mhm.
advocate for that for everyone. I don't care if
Mhm.
you're a man or a woman.
Right.
I think the problem we're having and we continue to have is we keep trying to separate everything.
Mhm.
Instead of just saying, why can't we just have equal rights for everyone? No
Well,
matter your
either we keep trying to separate everything or we keep trying to put everything under the same box.
right. Now, when it comes to rights should be under the same box.
Mhm.
Okay. Rights, you know what I'm
Just because
saying?
you
If you're
have
gonna
the
go out
right
that
to
way.
do something doesn't mean you have the ability to do something, and that's where people don't see the difference.
Exactly. That's a huge problem.
Mhm.
Like I said, I definitely, what I'm saying, if you come to like talking about the workplace, if a woman can do the same job, if especially if she can do it better, she should be getting equal pay.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's not about whether you're a man or a woman. Can you do the job? Can you do the job
Mhm.
effectively? Can you be proficient at the job? Can you make sure that whatever job you're doing is you're the one of the best at? If you're one of the best at, I don't care if
Right.
you're a man or a woman. Okay. I just don't want you to be a fairy. When I say fairy, I'm talking about Tinkerbell.
Mhm.
Because all that dust getting in and everything. No, I'm not with that. I'm not trying to clean all that crap up. Okay. I don't
Right.
want the little I hate glitter. So I don't want fairies. Okay. When I say fairy, I ain't talking about, in a derogatory term. I'm talking about actual pixie fairies. That's what I'm talking about. As long as you're not one of them, we cool. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
People be like, Birdman, what the pixie fairies? Listen, I have a problem with them.
Mhm.
They bother me. I don't like them being so small, flying around like that. It bothers me. Tinkerbell used to get on my dang nerves.
Mhm.
Anyways, it's sorry. I've had a lot of bad dreams about those. Anyways, I like I said, I I think when you look at that, I just get so tired of the fact that number one, we seem like we have to separate everything, and number two, we seem like we have to have a category for everything.
Right.
And I think that's the reason why we stay divided,
Mhm.
especially in this country. And I'm not talking about anybody else's country. I can only speak from what I see in my country, and in this
Mhm.
country, I think that's the main reason why we are always so divided, and we can never. Number one, we can never really agree upon anything unless it's some
Mhm.
type of tragedy, which
Right.
is really sad to me.
Mhm.
Then all of a sudden we're like, oh well, yeah, this needs to be should have been like that before.
Mhm.
But yeah, I 100% believe that when it comes to that. Once again, has nothing to do with cartoon conspiracies.
No.
So
Well, I
what?
mean, in a way it does though, because in your cartoons, so the especially your movies, like your Disney movies, you they're portraying the damsel in distress and
Yeah,
the Prince
yeah.
Charming riding in on this white horse to save them. Um, so I mean, in some ways, yeah, you can attribute the two of them, but then you've got movies that are breaking out of that, um, such as Frozen, Encanto, where they're trying to uh, diminish the gender roles.
Hmm. I agree. Um, it's one of those things like I'm one of those. I listen. I'm an old school type thinker when it comes to a lot of things with a new school twist.
Mhm.
I believe all that stuff should be definitely promoted, but
Mhm.
I think where you can go wrong is if you try to do it and push it too much too fast.
Mhm.
Um, because there for a while it seemed like every single movie that was coming out, whether it was live action, whether it was animated, whether it was pushing that type of agenda, and that's something that can really turn
Mhm.
people off as well.
Mhm.
I don't think any movement. I don't think any movement should be so like they're just trying to beat you down with it. It should never be like that.
Right.
I think the problem is what happens is something happens, right?
Mhm.
And then over time it goes away.
Right.
And then they just stop talking about it. We don't move forward with it. And then next, something else happens. And now all of a sudden, oh man, we got to, because this happened not too long ago, or similar situation happens, but to a different group of people.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So it can be it can be the exact same thing that happens to one group, and there's no real uproar about it. But then the same thing happens to a different group, and all of a sudden there's a huge problem with it. And I think that's where it really gets me.
Right. Now I'm going to take that and segue
Go
that
ahead,
into our episode from last night
give it to me.
with, with things happening to one group and, goes away. Lake Lanier
God dang.
over, the flooding over Oscarville, even though it wasn't directly after it, Oscarville was not the cause of the flooding of the town.
Right,
Neither was the the Trail of Tears the cause for the start of Oscarville.
right.
But it's kind of interesting how it kind of rolled in that same direction.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was so interesting to me.
Mm.
Like I said, hearing the background that came with that,
Mhm.
and to know that that lake itself, basically that area, let's say that area, um, has claimed over at that point in time, it claimed over 700 lives,
Mhm.
estimated 700 lives.
Yep.
And like Def Light said last night, and it depends on where you're sourced from. Some say it's like 500, some say it's upwards of 900
Mhm.
plus. Um, and to know and to start knowing and figuring out and hearing the actual history of that place,
Mhm.
it's just mind blowing.
Mhm.
And the thing is, that's not the only place that's happened.
No.
It's not the only place that, and the thing is the fact that the racial cleansing that went on with Oxfordville is still going on today
Right.
in that
It's
area.
and it very much is still going on in that area up and through the 90s. I don't know how much of it up until the 90s through at least 2016 that I'm aware of. I don't know after that.
That's
Actually, Bambi, if she's still in here, I want her to jump in on this because she did quite a bit of research as well on Lake Lanier. And I know she wasn't able to attend last night.
Get your butt in here.
I'm actually going to ask for a quick break. I've got to go handle something real quick.
Okay.
So, all right, give me like
how much time you need? We can take a commercial.
2 minutes.
Okay, you got a minute.
All right. I'll be right back.
All right, cool. But yeah, no, like we will take a quick commercial break here, hopefully pretty soon. But yeah, last night's episode was on Lake Lanier. The title was The Dark Secret of Lake Lanier, which is really not a secret. It's the information for that place is completely 100% out there. The fact that it was I don't have my notes in front of me. I might have to get those so I can talk more about that. But it was a town that was a black town. It was created. It was cultivated by black families. It was a thriving town. And just one issue after another. Like I said, we'll get more into that. Like I said, I don't want to get too much into it because I don't have my notes in front of me. I'm going to go grab those when I go take this commercial break. But how all this stuff transpired throughout this whole entire history of this town to the point where they end up building a dam. And then once they built that dam, they flooded the town, killing hundreds of people and wiping that town out. It's just crazy. And even to this day, that lake claims around 10 people's lives a year. It's amazing to me. It's amazing. It's fascinating to me. It's just one of those things that's just kind of tough to think about and really consider when it comes to that. So I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a real quick commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna get more into this. Okay, baby, I'll try to send it to you. We'll get more into this right after this. Hello, I'm Tim Simpson, owner and head coach of the Tri-State 66ers based out of Pittsburgh and Parsons, Kansas. The Tri-State 66ers aim to unite our community through high-energy, family-friendly sports entertainment. But we are not just a basketball team. We're a platform developing talent, fostering civic pride, and creating lifelong memories for fans of all ages while strengthening the region's love for the game of basketball. We're looking to partner with and promote local businesses to build a strong community connection. So if you are a local business and would like to join the 66er Nation as a sponsor, contact us by email at tristate66ers.basketball@gmail.com or call us at 620-454-6587. Join us as we look to support local businesses and community organizations through partnerships and promotion. What is up, everybody? How you doing? It's your boy, the Birdman from the Birdman Show. Got Miss D joining me around. Bambi joining us very shortly, as soon as she gets into the link. But we'll have Bambi join us very shortly. You guys already know what to do, so why don't you go ahead and just fly with us. That is right. We are back on this recap edition of the Birdman Show. What we talked about Monday's episode, as we got Bambi joining in right now. We talked about Monday's episode. Where's that? But we talked about Monday's episode, which was cartoon Conspiracies, which Bambi was able to join us on that one. And then last night we talked about the deep secret of Lake Lanier. I need to change that title because it's not a secret. It is literally out there. Anyways, but we talked about that as well. Bambi, since you're on here now, I'll give you an opportunity if you want to make some comments about Monday's episode, and then we'll transition you back into what we talked about last night as well, if you want to.
Yeah, I can't really be on too long. I don't know how long I'll be able to stay, but yeah, okay. I know Mom said she wanted me to come on, so.
Okay, well then skip Monday and just go to last night's.
When I was doing research and everything, it was just a lot, and everything. I unfortunately actually missed last night's episode, which was really upsetting for me. But I had other engagements.
I got it.
But the like doing the research and all of the weird things that I encountered in my research. I don't know if you guys had brought up that there was in I think 1958 two sisters went missing.
They weren't sisters, they were friends, but yes.
Oh, I thought they were sisters.
Mm-mm.
But they went missing, and one of the bodies was found, but the other one wasn't for several decades. But apparently, like, you know, people see one of them and all of that, and it's like, she's like,
Lady of
look,
the lake.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that one was pretty crazy because when she did finally show up, she was missing both hands and all of her toes, right?
Yeah,
That's just
Delia
so weird to
Mae
me.
Parker Young was the lady in the blue dress. And her friend Susan, I'm trying to think Susan's last name. I can't remember it right off the top of my head. Huh?
Sarandon?
No.
Oh.
But Delia, they found, and I use that term very loosely, a year later, a fisherman found her floating by the bridge with missing both her hands and all of her toes. But they said because it was the same blue dress that they had seen her in a year ago, that's how they identified her, because she was so decompensated that there were no identifiers. And then in 1990, decades later, they found the car with Susan's remains still in it.
See, that's what throws me off, man, because like they find the car. Susan's still in the car. Then I'm assuming they're saying that she was in the front seat. But they never said.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, I'm assuming they're saying that.
Mm.
Because like I'm saying, was it Delia?
Yep.
Delia was found decades later. No hands.
Susan, they found decades later. Delia, they found the year after.
A year after, sorry. Year after.
Yep.
No hands. Blue dress, same blue dress on. No toes.
Yep.
You know, like I said, my mind immediately, maybe I'm just a psycho, but my mind immediately, actually I am. Anyways, my mind immediately went to thinking, okay, well, maybe the fact was she was abducted. I'm saying maybe she was held captive, and she was dumped later, wearing the same dress on, but they took off her hands. I don't know why they wouldn't just take off her feet. Just took off toes, like, you know, you can do a footprint without the toes. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. We don't deal with extremely smart or intelligent criminals.
There were accidents beforehand too. Before they went missing, they had left a dance that night, and they had stopped for gas, and then they took off from the gas station without paying for it. But we know nothing about what actually occurred with that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Potentially, you know, was there potentially somebody in the back seat? You know, somebody tried to carjack them. I mean, we don't know any of that information.
Yeah, I think that's also what's interesting to me too. Well, we're gonna say that, baby.
I was just agreeing that, yeah, because like between that, I mean, in my opinion, it's over a whole town covering cemeteries. You don't mess with cemeteries. No.
Like I said, watch the first Poltergeist. Or the second.
I'm a firm believer. You do not mess with it. You don't mess with the dead.
And not to mention, not just cemeteries. I mean, there are over 20 cemeteries under Lake Lanier, but there's also a sacred Cherokee burial ground as well.
Oh, that's even worse.
That's
and it's a documented one, because how many times do we hear, oh, it was built over ancient Indian burial ground? We hear that all the time, but this was a documented sacred Cherokee burial ground.
Yeah, that's even
nah.
worse. I'm good. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Like I said, I watched Poltergeist 1 and 2. I mean, I've seen all of them, but I watched Poltergeist 1 and 2. And that's the first thing the pop said, when he found out. What do you mean you didn't move the bodies? You only removed the headstones? Yeah. See? You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? People, you don't mess. You don't mess with. You may not. You may not believe in the afterlife. You may not believe in spirits. You may not believe that there are such things, entities that exist. But you may not believe in them. But I guarantee you, they believe in you. And like I said, I've seen too much over my 48 years of life. Especially dealing with being part of the church, that I've seen a lot of things that I just cannot explain. And to be honest with you, I don't want to try to explain, because I really, at this point in time in my life, it may sound good, 3 squares, and a cot, being in a place where I wear a jacket that I get to hug myself 24/7, not really that appealing. So. Faith, I feel spirits too. They usually come in the form of a bottle. Anyways,
Now, I will say both of my girls are gifted in that way. They're actually more gifted than I am. Faith herself, or Raven, herself, ever since she was little, she's always had a connection with things that the rest of us couldn't see.
She's the reason why I know you do not mess with cemeteries.
Mhm.
Playing
Yep.
hide and seek with
Yeah,
somebody that's not there.
Oh yeah.
She was 3 years old. And she was playing hide and seek with somebody that the rest of us couldn't see. And Bambi has always been like that too, ever since she was a child. But I definitely think Raven is, out of the 3 of us, Raven sees more than the rest of us. I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. Mine is what they call clairkinetic. I feel. I can sense it.
Yeah, I've been like that. I've been like that with a few of my ex-wives too. Anyways, I'm sorry. I apologize. Not, I really don't. Anyways, so Bambi, while we have you on here, because I don't know how much time I'm gonna have you on here for, but what were some other interesting things you were able to research on when it came to Lake Lanier?
I kind of got stuck on that just because of it kind of ties into something that I was going to bring up in the next conspiracy theories episode. The lady in blue, and how she almost acts as a woman in white. It's a term for a North American. Well, actually, I don't think it's North American. I have to actually look into it, but a mythology type thing, because it's said that if you see her, there's a high likelihood that your car is going to end up in the lake. Anyone who's seen her has potential, usually is drinking on a boat, driving, and ends up losing, but beside that,
yeah.
I kind of got stuck on how it was made for a little
how
while
the lake was
as
made?
well. Yeah. I wanted to do more research before the show yesterday, but then life happened and I ended up busy. But when I was doing the research, I had found it to be I read a little bit about the murder that had happened, and then the lynching that happened after the fact, without a trial, obviously. But I couldn't really find much about, what led to that. I knew that there were several suspects to the murder of, I think her name was May something. I don't have my notes in front of me. I just got home.
I think you're right.
Yeah. But it was so weird to me, that was the leading cause of the whole, I think they called it a perjury, something like that. It was, Oscarville ended up.
Racial cleansing.
Mm-hmm. And then Oscarville ended up basically abandoned. I also I couldn't find anything on if anybody died in the flood.
I I don't. I could have sworn that's what we talked about last night. But now that you said that, I don't remember if that was that something we. Is that something we talked about last night? If there were anybody that actually died in the flooding?
So I think a couple people lost their lives in the building of the dam. Give me one.
Yeah, I remember that.
I just was specifically looking to see if anyone died in the flood, and I couldn't find.
Well, it was flooded on purpose.
I know that, but I also know, like, even anywhere that you go, if somebody wants to stay, you can't particularly force them out. It happens a lot with, like, when there's wildfires. There are people that are like, I'm not leaving. This is my home, and would rather go down to their home. But it was like, I saw, like, that, obviously the flood happened. It was an intentional flood, but the flood had happened. But I could not find a single thing about anyone dying in the flood.
Right.
But you're telling me a whole town. Hold on.
No, you're good. No, that's a very good and interesting point. I now that she says that, I don't.
I'm
remember.
not finding any stats.
That was what I found to be weird too, because that's what I was looking for. That's 90% of what I was looking for. Because you can't tell me that an entire town, 38,000 acres of land specifically, there was not a single person.
Well, I mean, the town itself had been cleared out over the years, because the riots happened in 1912.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but if that holds true, I just don't understand. If the town had already been cleared out, over the years, why didn't they go ahead and tear the buildings and everything down? Why didn't they go ahead?
Some of them were, not all of them, but some of them.
Not all of them. I have to answer an emergency message. Give me 2 minutes. If I might have to jump out, but give me 2 minutes.
No, you're good. You're good. But yeah, I think that's one thing that kind of I'm kind of like there with you on that one, Bambi. With there it may or may not have been people who actually perished in that flood, up the flooding of the town, because like I said, if it had been cleared out, why hadn't they?
I lost your audio.
Cleared out some of them. Oh, can you hear me? Hello?
Did anybody else lose his audio?
Hello? Can everybody hear me? Can anybody hear me here? Hello? Hello? Can you hear what I hear? Can you not hear me? Can you see me? Can you see me? Hold on a minute. I can actually check that myself. Hold on. Mic check. Yeah, I don't think my audio is coming through at all. What is going on here? Mic check. Mic check.
Hello, we can't.
Can you see me?
So you can't hear him either. Okay, so Faith has him.
I don't know what happened. Oh, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Okay, so I'm the only one who can't hear him.
Ha! That's
funny.
I
can hear you.
You can hear me?
I can't hear anybody.
What the heck? Oh, now you can't hear anybody?
You're on your iPad. She's on her iPad.
Oh, hold on.
I'm back up here. Hold on. I'm going to try and leave and see if... Hold on.
Okay, yeah. All right, I heard myself there. Okay. I was like,
all right,
what the
now
freak?
that she jumped out, let's try this again.
Hello, X.
Now I can't hear you.
What the freak? What the heck? Oh, hey, I'm just here by myself then. I do a magic trick. I think I have my cards here somewhere. All right. So everybody hold on? Let me. Okay. So Bambi just said her phone's not working right now. Okay. All right. My audio is still coming through on YouTube, so
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I heard you the whole time.
That was weird.
That was very weird. I'm glad Apple went. The tech. Wow. Yeah, that would. All right. That's a good point there, X. That's a damn good point. Darn good point there. Okay, good. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I was about to pull some cards out and do some magic tricks. I don't know. Anyways, pick a card, any card.
Was this your card? It is now.
Yeah. Well, it is. So yeah, just thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm here all weekend. Literally here because I live here. Anyways,
But no, I will say though, the whole thing with Lake Lanier, as far as the paranormal side of it, the Lady of the Lake, that seems to be the biggest paranormal side of it. Outside of that, I mean, yeah, you've had a lot of people who have died throughout the years of it being there, but you don't hear the paranormal stories. The Lady of the Lake is the biggest one that you hear about. I mean, you don't hear about like cryptids. There's not like a Nessie running around underneath, through all of the debris or anything like that.
that we know of.
That we know of, yes.
Gotta always throw that in there. You always gotta throw that in there.
Well, I mean, you figure, it is a landlocked man-made lake that even for Georgia, the alligator population tends to even stay away from there.
Listen, if gators, let me tell you something. About gators, all right? And I ain't the crocodile hunter. I ain't Crocodile Dundee. I know good dang well if gators are staying from a particular area, there's a problem.
I mean, I'm not saying there's none. There are some, but they what they say, they kind of hang around the northeastern side of it, and where Forsyth County is more northwestern.
Yeah, same. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. You know what I'm saying? Because gators, they do what they do. You know what I'm saying? They go where they go. They be where they be. And if they ain't being there or anywhere else up there where it's at, there's a problem. I'm telling you right now, there's a problem. Okay. Stay the heck out from up there, people. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to be there for the Birdman is trying to help you people stay alive. When I say you people, I mean all you people. At this point in time, all you people when it comes to stuff like that is my people. I'm trying to share my Blackie senses. It's a real thing. I'm telling you, Blackie senses is a real thing. It is a real thing. I am trying to tell you people right now that is a real thing. Yeah, like I said, this week has been a very fun-filled week. Like I said, starting with season 2, episode 1 of Conspiracy Files, talking about cartoon conspiracies. That was fun. It was very fun. It was, and it even with it being as lighthearted, it started off as being. We still had some dark notes on there. We had some deep notes on there, so it was still a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And then last night's episode talking about Lake Lanier, it was unexpected. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was just unexpected as far as what we dealt with in that show. So I enjoyed it. So what was your overall view of the episodes?
So overall, I definitely think every topic that we have, whether it's supposed to be fun and lighthearted, we're human. so we're going to find the human nature to it, which will always have some sort of dark side. Um, but that's okay. That's why we're here. We talk it out, and we try and see things from all angles. You know, we're not journalists, you know, just recording one side of things. When we research stuff, we're researching all of it, and we don't just stop where the research that we want answered. You know, we
Right.
continue and get down to as much of the nitty gritty as we can. So I think that's the difference. And I do like the fact that we started off on a lighter note, because this season is going to get dark and heavy,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
heavy. But even with it getting dark and heavy, we're going to be able to have these conversations and these lighthearted moments through it, because we can connect to it in so many different levels. And something that I say to you all the time backstage, so, you know, a lot of our followers don't necessarily hear it. The level of respect that we have for each of the co-hosts is uncanny. I mean, you can't, you can barely find that in any kind of group of people that have opposing views, because not all of us, I mean, we don't have the same religious views, political views, stuff like that, but we have respect for each other that supersedes those things. And so that's why we're going to be able to talk about these things, because we do have that same respect for each other.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That is 100% true. And that's why I like doing this, because I mean, like you said, we don't necessarily just focus on one aspect of any story. Whatever information I can come up with, or I find, or I research, I'm sharing that information. It's not like I'm gonna pick and choose. You know, I don't really want to talk about that part, so we're not gonna do that. The only time I'll do that if it's a part of a story that I just think is, I don't think it's necessary to traumatize the audience with. You know, I don't want to cause anybody else issues, but we'll still talk about the majority of the things that we need to talk about when it comes to whatever episode we're talking about, in that factor. And like we've always said, and we can't stress enough, even with what you're hearing from us, do your own. If it's something that really interests you, where you have a question about, do your own research. Never just take Miss D's word for anything. Always take my word for everything, but never take Miss D's word for anything. Always
I'm just an idiot with a phone and a computer.
You better not be taking my word for it. A dang thing. You a bigger dummy than I think you are. I ever thought you was. If you taking my word for anything, that's like you dumb. I'm sorry. I normally don't like to call people dumb, at least not to their face, anyways. But if you if you taking my word for anything, yeah, you dumb. Oh God, I got choked up on that one. Anyways, but no, seriously though, I enjoy it. Like I said, I can't agree with Miss D enough with the point she made about the level of respect that we all have for each other. Because I think we got a good group of people, whether it's the Conspiracy Files, whether it's the Birdman show, even with our audience, we have a good group of people that I think we are beyond mature enough to respect everyone's opinions. And even though we may not agree on with each other's opinions, but that doesn't matter, because there's been opinions that other people have had that I may not have agreed with, but after listening to them, it's like, I can see why you would say that. You know what I'm saying? Let me think a little bit more on that, or let me do a little bit more research on that. You know, and maybe it's one of those things where I say, you know what? After listening to that, I'm actually, you know, pulled me over that side. Or after hearing him, like, I did a little bit more digging on it. I still feel the way I feel about it. Can't really change. Can you come say hi? Of course you can come say hi.
She wants to come on camera.
What the heck? Why you ain't got to ask that question?
Come on, you can come back.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Don't mind my face. I just got done washing it from doing
And
Makeup.
she's got the
Oh.
recognize.
Don't worry. Don't mind my face either. It's okay.
I was just doing weird makeup stuff. I took a photo.
Okay. I want to see it after.
Okay.
She's
doing
getting
weird.
for bed because we don't know if
The
she's
storm.
got a remote day or if she'll actually
Yeah.
have school tomorrow or not.
I'll send it to you.
Okay. Are you
Yeah,
saying
that's good.
Hey, love you.
love you? Good night.
Night. But yeah, that's I think I that's what I enjoy the most about it is the fact of that we can have these kind of conversations. Like I said, the audience is phenomenal with it. Love the interaction we get from everybody watching, and definitely love the experience of being able to talk with my co-host about whatever the subject is. And there's the vast knowledge and opinions that we can bring to it, and perspectives is what I really love about everything we do here. So it makes it a lot more fun than just me being up here ranting, which I could do. I'll do it. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. I'll do it. I'll say what I say, and I'll drop the mic after. Actually, I'm not gonna drop you these mics. These mics actually cost me quite a bit of money. So
I tell people all the time, and they're like, "Mic drop." I'm like, anybody who says that has never paid for a mic.
exactly, yeah.
Mhm.
I'll grab one of Rain's toy mics, and I'll just keep one of those in here, and that way I'll do a mic drop. I'll just drop that because all of her mics are broken anyway, so it really doesn't matter if I drop them or not.
That was the
And-
one thing that I hated about being a karaoke DJ. When that whole thing started with the mic drop, I'm like, you drop my mic, I'm gonna drop you.
yeah,
Because they
yeah.
are expensive.
Yeah, those things are no jokes. I got 2 mics. I still haven't even broke out yet because I've got those set for like if I have like in studio guests.
Mhm.
So I basically have like 3 extra mics that I can hook up. Now I need to upgrade my interface though, my sound board, because that one only takes 2. So I'm gonna end up getting a Rodecaster, which is the one I really want. That's the one I want. But I'm gonna end up upgrading to that because that one I can use up to 4 mics, I believe. So yeah, I'll be looking to upgrade. So anybody wants to sponsor the Birdman show, just let me know so I can get some more equipment. Anyways, Miss D, you got anything you want to tell the good people before we get up out of here?
Start sharing things out. Excuse me. We'd love to see, the ones that are watching us. What after we're done the live, you're watching us on the repeat. Come join us live. We'd love to hear your opinions as well. Share us out because I thrive on as many input types of discussions as possible. I'm a little chaotic and I love it because it forces me to look at things outside of the box. And I am a firm believer that you grow when you're challenged. Everything is
I like
just
that.
easy breezy all the time and you can spout your own information all the time. There's no room to grow. And I am a very, very druidic type of person. I like to know things, even if I have no business knowing it. And if you ask me a question and I don't know the answer, I'm going to research the hell out of it. So, because now I want to know the answer.
Right?
Yes. So come ask questions, interact, and I can't wait to see what Monday brings because Monday is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
North American mythology. We're talking Mothman, we're talking Sasquatch, the Jersey Devil, Skinwalkers, Chupacabra. So many different ones come to mind. So, it's just, I can't wait because the paranormal and the weird are my wheelhouse.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I have a lot to say about this because my dating life, I think I've dated a couple of chupacabras, definitely dated a couple Sasquatches.
I think I married one.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I mean,
Passed.
I got lots to say about this. My bad. I apologize. Nah, I don't. I'm sorry. I can't.
I apologize for nothing.
I can't. So yeah, we're gonna hear a lot from the Birdman on this one. I got a couple of chupacabras I got to talk about. Anyway, yeah. We want to thank you guys. If you guys see this anywhere, this is something I'm doing now. I'm letting people know. Especially if you're new to streaming, you want to look at something, you want to level up your streaming, just go check out StreamYard and you'll get a 10% discount. Just go to StreamYard.com/PAL/ I'm not reading all that. You got it on your screen. Copy it down. Anyways, just go there and check it out. That was on the Kick stream. This one is over on our YouTube stream as well. So definitely go check those out if you're looking to get in podcasting. If you definitely want to know more about it, hit your boy up. I'll definitely walk you through it, whether you want to do an audio podcast, a video podcast, however you want to do it. Just let me know, and I'll walk you through it and get you started. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. Just want to remind everybody we will be back Monday for another Conspiracy Files episode. We're talking about North American mythology. And then we'll be back next Wednesday, I believe, for You Be the Judge episode.
Yep. It'll be first in studio. You be the judge. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, that is going to be your first one. So that is going to be fun. Very fun. And it really is actually fun. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it immensely. I'm still looking. I'm having some issues with some of my commercials. They're not transferring on, so I'm gonna have to go get another one. Raven says she knows a lot about mythology. I like that. Okay.
Well, she knows a lot about she does know a lot about mythology, but it's the I don't honestly know how much of the North American mythology she's aware of. So
she's more of like what's your Greek or
absolutely Greek mythology, Norse mythology.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely Roman mythology. Like those are kind of her wheelhouse. She does. Yeah, she does do some of the cryptids. She's done a lot of research on some of the cryptids. So it'll be interesting to see what she comes up with too, because I'm gonna be quizzing her.
Okay. Well, I like to hear that. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, so I'm excited about next week. I'm excited about season 2 of Conspiracy Files. Having full-blown season, going through all this. And especially since we've added Bambi as well. And then, like I said, we're getting close to wrapping up on season 7 of the Birdman show. We got this You Be the Judge, and then we got, I think, maybe 4 episodes, 3, maybe 4 episodes after that, and we'll be wrapping up with season 7. Wow. Season 7 of the Birdman show. So that's hard to fathom. I'll have to make sure I add the banners for where you can find the audio podcast of the Birdman show and Conspiracy Files. But we are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Those are all the audio versions of the podcast. And I think they're all under Birdman show.
Spotify too, right?
Yeah, Spotify. Yeah, Spotify too. I think they're all under Birdman show. Spotify might be the Birdman podcast. I can't remember. I will make sure to get the banners for that, or lower thirds, as we like to call it. I'll make sure to add those in, so that way when we go through, because I don't think I have. See, there's Birdman Sports Podcast. There's the now Spotify for podcasters. Yeah, I don't have that stuff in there, so I'll make sure to put that under there, so that way we have that up there, so that I won't have to ramble through that. But listen, I had a wonderful time doing this recap. we were definitely over the spectrum in this one, but I don't expect anything less, especially when it comes to recaps. We don't really have a format other than, hey, this is what we were supposed to talk about, whether we talk about it or not.
As long as we touch on it a little bit.
Yeah. Let's not say that as we're moving in, as we're going to hit the Epstein files. Anyways, we not just Epstein, Diddy too. Anyways, yeah, get ready for when we do the Epstein files and Diddy. Just Get your popcorn and your baby oil. Pull up. Make sure you're not on a leather couch. You're gonna slip right off that sucker. Anyways,
No leather, nothing inflatable.
yeah, right. And then put away anything that you can poke something with. Anyways. We freaking love every last one of you. Holy crap, we love all y'all. You guys are phenomenal. We have a good time like always, and like I said, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys so very much. Thank you for your support. We'll see you guys Monday for another episode of Conspiracy Files. Actually, episode 2, North American mythology, and then of course, like I said, we're following that up Wednesday with the Birdman Show podcast, doing another You Be the Judge. And of course, we'll be back Thursday for another recap. So for the Birdman, I am the Birdman. For Miss D, for Miss D, for Bambi, for Mace Valor, for Deathlight, for Ace in his absence, for Faith / Raven, who made an appearance as well. Listen, we love and we thank you guys so very much. Like I said, I'm the Birdman. This is the Birdman Show recap, and we'll see you guys on Monday. You know what to do. So why don't you go ahead and fly out with us? That's right. And we out. So as I hit the button.